Welcome to Brothers in Smithing.
Oh, I'm keeping that. Nicely done. That was a little Mrs. Doubtfire, and then a little like WrestleMania. You must be doing well tonight.
So I've been making tinsel. It's very boring.
Oh, I see. All work and no play makes Kipling a dull boy.
Exactly.
Awesome.
All right. Well, good evening, Andrew. How you doing?
I'm doing okay-ish. I can. I'm looking forward for the next couple days being over, but that's because it's another thing. So
Fair enough. Fair
Yep.
enough. Well, we want to welcome everybody to our Brothers in Smithing podcast. And tonight we are going to talk about Brothers in Smithing stuff. I don't have a great introduction.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Who are you? What are you doing? Why are we doing this?
I don't know. So we are Brothers in Smithings. If this is the Smithings, we are Brothers in Smithing. Yes, I'm speaking well. We are not blood brothers. We are brothers by choice. We've known each other for a long time. We've been competing over things as silly as racing little sticks down rivers for as long as we can remember. And then about 3, 4, 5 years ago, we started working in metal. And we did some blacksmithing, which you kept going. And then later on, I picked up the tinsmith and coppersmithing. And we compete in metalwork now, hence the Brothers in Smithing. I am the tinsmith coppersmith, obviously, because I just said that. My name's Kipling, and my partner is.
So I'm Andrew. Kipling operates Tapley Tinsmith, by the way, and I operate Deer Run Forge, and the blacksmith of the two of us. Hence why we call it the Brothers in Smithing. And I actually forgot that you started blacksmithing with me. I was thinking about this the other day, that like we used to get together in Brawny Creek and blacksmith there a bunch for years.
And hit metal, yeah, that's where we started long before, because that was at least 2 years before I got into the tinsmithing at Lang Pioneer Village. And yeah, so technically you should be better at this than I am, because you have had more time blacksmithing than I've had tinsmithing, coppersmithing.
Well, the funny thing is, if you remember those days, we didn't call ourselves blacksmiths because I didn't think we were blacksmithing. we were hitting hot steel and controlling coal fires. It was moving. We made some things.
Yeah. I believe the term we used was farmsmith.
Yes. Yeah, that was what our term was. So we started doing this and we both made a rose and then argued back and forth as to whose was better. So we've been putting these out online for over 3.5 years now to whose is better to our followers on Instagram. And we talked like at least 2 or 3 times a month about these challenges and just decided that it would be funner to see each other and then hit record so that we can
everybody else can listen to us inanely talk back and forth and insult each other.
Which is funny because my wife has decided that like when we get together, she likes hanging out with us while we're talking and everything like that. But then she normally falls asleep on the couch, and it's just this bantering back and forth of me and Kipling. And we've decided that this might be her new sleepscape of she'll just listen to our podcast and fall asleep.
We are that boring, folks. So prepare yourselves for a thrilling ride.
So our last challenge was probably one of our biggest, most prep work challenges yet. And we put it together and had it live at the Peterborough Hand of Man market, where we saw hundreds of people and they voted on our chess sets. And I whooped you.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay. In the live vote, you actually did. I think you got, we just looked it up. It was like 369 votes and I got 271 votes. So like you almost beat me by 100 votes. Like it was that's sad. Online, you beat me by 2. Like it was pretty close there. And I think I actually got like a vote after it closed. So, it was really close. But yeah, you took the live one. And you know what it was? It was the weight.
Yeah. Everybody thought yours were delicate. Yeah.
Yeah. And mine weren't really delicate. Like they're made of copper, they're pretty solid, but they are, you know, not gonna, help you sleep with the fishes like yours.
Well, and that might have been the thing, is the comparison between the two,
Yeah,
between my solid steel and your copper ones. Yours did look delicate in comparison.
100%.
But you did get votes who would just come up and be like, "You got blue on yours. You get my vote,"
Yes,
or they were like, "I hate
because I
gnomes."
painted mine. It had nothing to do with the metalwork. I painted mine.
Yeah.
Although my favorite were the people who would come up and like, I love gnomes. And then like, I think there was like two, maybe people who's like,
Yeah.
I hate gnomes. I'm voting
Yeah.
for the flowers because I hate gnomes.
Enough of these things.
But the
No.
number of people, because, so if you didn't see them and you didn't see her last month, I made flowers. He made gnomes. And the gnomes were like very like manly, steel, dark gray looking gnomes. And the number of people who walked up and said, well, this is obviously the masculine side and this is obviously the feminine side. So many people said that, but so many women voted for gnomes and so many men voted for flowers.
Yep.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Yeah, they would say that, but then that's not how they
No,
voted or
I
why
know,
they
but
voted. It was
yeah, but being good, trying to be friendly with people so they would buy stuff. I'm not, counteracting them, but I'm like, really? No, like sitting here watching, it's 50-50 what you're going for.
Yep.
Oh, yes, I know. We haven't talked about our libations for the
We have
evening.
not.
So sorry, Andrew. You guys can't see because we're chatting. He was like pointing to his drinks, like, "Oh, you forgot." See, I batty fanged our podcast already.
No. I was just enjoying it. I was reminding you and reminding myself of how delicious this is.
Well, what is your deliciousness?
Ooh, I have some of my Nova Scotia whiskey, my Iron, what is it? Iron House or something, blacksmith.
Can't even remember what it is. You know, it's a good drink when you can't
It's the
remember.
blacksmith whiskey from Nova Scotia. Ironworks, that's what it is. Ironworks, and it's in one of my wife's pottery tumblers.
It's a very beautiful little pottery cup. I like the little white lines going through there. Very nice.
Yeah, it's a white and black swirl one.
Yeah, no, nice shout out to Grumpy Owl, which is, your wife's pottery group, Grumpy Owl Pottery. I myself am enjoying a chalky walkie.
Oh, I was wondering if you were going to pull it the chalky walkie. How is it?
Walkie. It's actually pretty good. I'm enjoying it. It's a chocolate milkshake stout. I do like myself a dark beer. And Andrew was up at my place a couple weekends ago, and I had this, and he was a bit of a chalky wussy and wouldn't try it.
It's the milkshake part of it. The chocolate stout I can get behind. The chocolate milkshake, I was like, I don't know. That's just not.
Yeah. Chalky wussy. It's actually quite good. I'm actually really enjoying it. So, I would recommend. I wouldn't drink a lot of these, but then again, I don't find I can drink a lot of stouts regardless of what the stout is, be it Guinness to, Hockley Dark to Chalky Walkie.
Comparing, I'm going to put these all in. Just going to put them in a line. Guinness, Chalky Walkie. Yeah, they're in the same sentence.
But jumping,
awesome.
Circling back for a second. So because of my loss of the chess set, and as Andrew had said, we've been doing this for 3.5 years now, plus-ish. Our vote tally overall is Andrew has 19 wins, I have 17 wins, and we have 4 ties. So still pretty close. There's definitely no runaway Smith.
No, and I think, was that 2 in a row for me now? No one's ever.
That might be 3.
I was going to say no one's ever got more than like 3 or 4 in a row. I don't know what the stat on that is, but there's been times that Kipling will take 2 or 3 in a row, and there's been times I've taken 2 or 3 in a row, and then we'll hit something that just turns the other person. And
actually, no,
you might have gotten 4.
That was 1 in a row, actually.
Oh,
because the one before that was the trivet, which was mine.
Oh, yeah.
And then before that was the brooch, that was yours. The one before that was the houseplant, which was mine. The one before that was the songbird. We've been going back and forth the last little bit.
Going back and forth. Oh.
But
I thought that was 2 or 3 in a row.
Yeah, no, it's not. No, the best we've done. Oh, you have gotten a 4 in a row.
Oh, there you go.
A long time ago. So there you go. Quick stat chat. Now, for those people who are following our statistics, like baseball traders, baseball card traders.
Yeah, now coming on your gaming or you know how they have all of those like Bet 365 advertisements? Now you can vote on Brothers in Smithing.
uh,
So this month's challenge was kind of inspired by you and your family's traditions and everything like that. Do you want to intro it or?
Sure. So it's not really my family tradition, but my mother has a Christmas village, and she sets it up every year, and it's beautiful. And it goes back a ways. Back when I was a teenager, we found a little ceramic shop that you could go in and you could paint ceramics, little figurines, whatnot. But you could paint houses too, and some of those houses are actually in the Christmas village. And so we thought that would be a really great idea because when I started tinsmithing, and I was a very poor tinsmith before I would have actually called myself a tinsmith, I decided, sure, I can make her a tin house, and I made this ugly house. Actually, we'll put a picture of it up on our Instagram. It is just terrible, but it's got to be a before and after because I figured, okay, might as well make a nice one. So we both had to make a Christmas village house, and to make it more interesting, you had to make a blacksmith shop, and I had to make a tinsmith shop.
Yep.
So
I didn't know if that was like required. It had to be a Christmas miniature house, but I was of course going to make a blacksmith shop. So.
Oh, I was so going to mock you if you didn't make a blacksmith shop.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it's a shop. I'll let you talk about yours, which is definitely, got some key pieces to it. But mine really, it looks like a shop. It has a tinsmith sign on front. It's got actually a movable tinsmith
so
shop sign
hangs in the wind.
Yeah. If you blow really hard, because generally these are inside. If you have wind going through your house inside, check the seals around your windows. But yeah. So I have a nice little house, and it looks really cool. I like the patina on it. I came up with a different way to make a roof than I had before because I used to layer it. And I might go back to that actually, but this one has been folded to give the look of a thatched roof, which I really like. So that was really cool.
And then you wire wheeled it or something to put the texture back in it, did you not? Or
no, I did that. Oh, so I had a new engraving tool that my sister-in-law gave me, and I used that to put the sort of straw-like texture in it, and I textured the rest of the body and then shaped it, and I did all this stuff, and I forgot to put a door.
Yeah, I was going to remind you of that one.
Oh, yeah, no. You didn't need to remind me. Trust me, I know I forgot to put a door on it. But, you don't just give up. You don't scrap it. I put a lot of work into it. So I came up with a way. I wanted a little walkway out anyways with the design that I had made because it has like an overhang with a couple wooden posts that are holding it up. And I actually built the door into that, and I soldered the door onto the flat wall. Like I'd actually cut out a hole and covered it over. And it actually gives the door a little bit more of a 3D look, which is nice. And it looks really sharp. I'm actually quite happy with my house.
The stonework and the siding and stuff I think is pretty typical of what you have done. But the thatched roof on it to me is like it's nice.
The thatched roof really turned out nice. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, the standard, because the bottom is like cobblestone look, and then the sides is more of that stucco kind of look from that time period. And I have done that before. What I really liked is the cobblestone walkway texture. It actually worked out really, really nice. And I like how the squared off logs, I actually borrowed a piece of steel from you to help me square off the tubes, the copper tubes that I use. I just inserted a square bar, and then that helped keep the shape, and then I could texture it. Really turned out nice.
I get the assist?
Well, it's like I got the assist on the notes because they were my idea. So I'll give you the assist on this. I don't mind.
Fair enough.
So I'm happy with mine. I think it looks good. Yeah. I'm quite happy. Cool. It was fun. But my biggest issue with this build was that I was really going, I was in the groove. It was going fantastic. And then I was telling you I had like a mini flood in my house, which drip down into the basement on top of my workspace, and then I had a while cleaning up, drying out everything, and it really cut the flow.
Yeah.
And then getting back into the groove was a challenge.
Finding all the stuff and all the pieces that got put everywhere while you're trying to
100%,
dry
right?
everything.
And it
Yeah.
just it made things harder that way. So,
Yep.
how about
So,
yours?
well, mine again, a blacksmith shop. I was talking last time that I was kind of inspired by the blacksmith at, like they see in a pioneer village and stuff, where the big double doors open and it's really meant for like showcasing and everybody walking by kind of can see inside. So I knew I wanted to have obviously an anvil inside and everything. So I actually worked on the pieces on the inside first. And the one thought I had was I wanted it to be able to put a tea light in where the forge would be, so you could see the flicker flame of the tea light, and actually add some light to the inside. So I built a whole bunch of stuff. I built a bench with a post vise and a swage block and an anvil and the forge and a whole hood for the forge and everything like that. I even built a blacksmith beam post drill that you see sometimes on blacksmith dolls.
Yeah, yeah. Those bits are looking sharp.
So I built all these bits, and then I was like, okay, now I got to build the box, and really it's just a steel box. And I tried to do some wood texture on the sides, and I came up with a new texturing thing for the roof. I took I don't know if anybody's ever seen those soft face hammers where the ends screw in, but you can get a bolt that'll screw into that, and then you put the texture on the bolt itself, and that gives you, and it's pretty easy to change those, and it gives you the weight to be able to, when the steel's hot, to put the texture in, and then you can quickly change those out. Of course, it's a double-sided one. You have two on either side, so I commonly use that for wood grain. I have a thick sort of stripey on one side and then a thinner one, and I can kind of flip between the two, putting different lines in for the wood grain. But I made a new one that has squares in it for doing the roof. I got a big chimney and of course a sign that says blacksmith. It's a giant sign in the front that it's a little wonky that says blacksmith, but I got my touch mark in there too, so I'm happy with that. But the
Ooh,
thing
got your
about,
touch mark in there.
yeah, it says Deer Run Forge and it's really nice. But the thing
So no
that
one's
really
gonna
makes,
want it now because it's like your forge.
yeah. But the thing about mine is you got to see inside for it to be cool. And I think that you might have me on, because we are going to take this to our next market. But I think you might have me in the live vote. One, because people are going to look down on your thatched roof, which I think is one of your prime pieces, and you got to get down to see mine. And unless we're going to have mine at face level, which I don't know if you'll allow me to just like pick it up and shove it in people's faces, but
You
no,
can
you
do
got to see
you, man.
inside.
You look closely.
You didn't see inside. But yeah, it is pretty cool when you get the light going from the forge, and the you kind of see the shadows of, there's even the forge blower in there and stuff. So
Oh,
yeah,
you've
I
got
like
sweet
it.
stuff, and I think that's gonna be the telling mark. How much do people look inside? Like, had you
Yeah.
done like an open topped, outside blacksmith workshop, like so it had a little cabin on one side and then everything else with a little bit of cover on it, so you could see everything, you would have taken me hands down because the detail work is beautiful.
So I'm just gonna pull the ends of this off and
Yeah, pretty much. But like I don't like I. Oh, sorry. I was like I'm thinking like dating myself a little bit, but I don't know if you remember the movie A Knight's Tale.
yep,
The scene where they actually start recruiting the blacksmith, like you have all the blacksmiths working outside, so there's a little shop, but like there's kind of open air, and then they
right.
have a little like cabin, like that kind of thing. So you have that little cabin, and then the equipment of that is all open air, and that would have really showcased all the little bits of work that you did.
Yeah. And I did kind of want it hidden though. I did want, like, again, it's kind of that little Easter egg, and the more you look, the cooler it is. But I don't, I don't, I don't know. I like it, and it's, if I was this size, it would be. It's a little cramped in there, but it is a usable shop. I think that you could get some work done in there. So.
If you were the size of a thumb, it would be
What is this, a
perfect.
school for ants? A little Zoolander for
It's
you.
a beautiful piece.
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it does. Like, how the photo online looks versus how people look at it. But
That is always an interesting one to me because when we're posting them online, you only get one image, and you've had things
yeah,
that are like 360 that it's really cool that it's 360, but you can only post
put
the one
one
image.
side on, right?
Yeah.
It
and
is.
and
It's
or things that are video that, like, if we had a video, then they would really lend to it. And I've also lost, I know that there's times I've lost because my picture has not been didn't represent the work as well as your picture did. And
no,
so it's one of
100%.
those.
Like, and I find, I'm not being a photographer. I find photography, pho-
Yep.
photographing. That would be the
Photo
word. I can speak.
photography.
Photographing metal, I find really difficult, especially shiny metal. Like, just you get the wrong shine on it. Like, you want it. Just I have a hard time doing it. Again,
Yep.
even with this, like the video that I put up on Instagram not that long ago looked great, but as soon as I tried taking pictures of it, it just was really challenging to get that right angle with the right light and not the shadows and not a weird like orangey glow off of it.
Yep. I find it's
So
overcast days, outside overcast days, and I can kind of get a decent picture. But again, like, if there's anything shiny to it and you get too bright of a light, or you want the shadow or don't want the shadow, it's challenging. So
it's very challenging. So, but it's always interesting. And again, I'm happy with mine. I'm so much better than the nasty tin house that I made years ago for my mom. So
I'm looking forward to the you know you should almost do it. Those things, my kids love them, where it's like 3 years later, and then like you have like
boom,
the
yeah,
original one, and then put the next one up. But yeah, it is fun to
yeah.
see
So
how we
I
grow too,
definitely need the
because
before, like five, 19, sorry, not 19, 2019 or whatever the year it was, and 2024. Look,
yeah.
I got better.
But it is fun to see
But
how we grow, because
oh,
we're talking where we started. I have a few of those hooks that we made on a railroad track with a brake drum forge, and the very first ones where it was just like, I can bend metal. This is crazy. And I kept a few of them. I reforged a lot of them because we made a lot back then. But
yep.
yeah, I have a few of them,
But
and
now it's I can bend metal good.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Although, I just sent you tonight. You'll have to see it, and I can't come up with the person's Instagram thing. But I just sent you a profile of somebody who makes little Christmas gnomes, the same as,
I
not the
saw
same
that.
as.
Yeah,
They are one piece, and they are like, if mine are a 6 out of 10, theirs are like 9.5 out of 10. They are amazing. Um,
they were very cool. It was H Jart Medjen. Sorry, it's HJRTESMEDJAN, and yeah, they are cool. And the hats are red, and it's like, is he enameled those or painted those?
painted them.
Okay.
Yeah. So like a painted, again, it's just, yeah. I hats off to them, because they are heads and tails above what I'm doing, and I'm sure that the time and effort and stuff is displayed in that as well. But
No, and,
um,
and practice and how if you're doing them, and yeah, but like yours are really cool too. Like don't sell yours short, but
no, no,
you know, but it's good to find stuff to work up towards and whatnot. So
for sure, for sure. Do
so
you
yeah,
have
so if
anything?
you are coming to
Oh
Guelph,
yeah,
so that's where we're going to be on this upcoming weekend, which is going to be November 30th. So Guelph, Ontario, there's a Guelph handmade outdoor Christmas market. I'm sure I put the words in the wrong order, but we will be there on Saturday from what is it, 10 to 4?
10 to 4 at Riverside
10 to
Park
3
in.
at Riverside
Uh,
Park. And
yeah, you
both
can
of
look them
our
up.
houses will be, or workshops, I guess, would be on the table. You can vote in person there, or you can vote for me in person. Ignore
Yeah.
yours.
At
I'm just
least
going to
look
like,
inside mine. Yeah, come on now.
I'm going to like tape a little like cardboard door in front of it so you can't see inside yours.
I was
Nothing
gonna
to
put a
see
little
here.
a little sign that says "Look inside." Yeah.
But yeah, so come on out and check us out at the market if you're in the area, and vote for mine
And
because
you can vote online as well. So you can give him a pity vote in person if you want. But you know you want to
and a
vote for
pity
mine
vote on. I'll
online.
take all the pity votes. I'm losing. I only have 17 wins to his 19.
So we
But
put them
again,
in our
I
Instagram stories on
yes,
Brothers in Smithing. You can look up Brothers in Smithing or Tapley Tinsmith or Deer Run Forge or all three, and
and vote
make
for
sure
me three
you.
times. Yes,
It,
exactly. See, 3 votes for me.
yeah,
But yes, the nice thing about this one is I think we're both very happy with the work that we did, which is always nice to finish off. And I'm like, yeah, I if even if I lose, I'm not feeling bad. So
and I think it'll be close. Like these ones tend to be, you know, fairly close, especially when you're like, because this one I don't know. Like again, I'm happy with what I did, and you're happy with what you did, and it's one of those like it could go either way, really. You might
it
take the
could, and
live, and I might take the online. I don't know. That's kind of what
the
I would.
live
That's
ones
kind of
to
what
me
I'm
are
expecting.
oh yeah, oh it's true. It could go either way, but to me the live ones are fascinating because the comments people have as to what is it that is the selling feature. What is it? The weight, or is it? It has a bit of blue paint on it. Or my favorite, we re put up our Grinch ones at the last market that we were
Oh
at,
yeah.
and everybody liked yours because it had a cheap, dollar store red ornament hanging from it. It had nothing to do with the black. No, it has an ornament. I'm like, sorry. Apparently, I should have hung an ornament on mine too.
You shoulda, coulda, woulda, man.
But it's fascinating to hear what people are interested in. And of course, I've picked out the silly things, but people who pick up and they like the detail, or they like the sculpturing of yours. Like you can really, I really like that we're getting active feedback.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, so come on out, comment, vote for mine, and we'll have a good time.
Or
Are you
vote
going to
for
sell
mine.
is yours going to be up for sale?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think
And what
so.
are you going to sell yours for?
Money.
Money?
It's one of those things. So I'm starting to realize that there's pieces that we make in these challenges that are really one of a kind type of things. The Grinch hand, is one that is fun to make, and I have no problems reproducing it a couple of those a year and reselling those. But I don't think that this is going to be one that I'm going to put all the effort of making all the pieces on the inside and making another one. So it's not going to be a $100 thing, but it's not going to be a $40 thing either. It'll be somewhere in the middle there. I don't know.
Around the $75 mark?
Yeah, 60, 75, something
60,
like
yeah.
that.
No,
Yeah.
no, and that's fair.
Yourself?
I think I would agree. That's kind of where I'm thinking. Again, part of it is the amount of work that's in it. I also agree. I don't know. I thought these might be something that I could do, you know, more of a couple different styles. You could do some different shops or a church or stuff like that and get some different styles. But they're a lot more work than I was really remembering, because I have done the house before. We did the water fountain challenge. I made a little water wheel on a mill,
Yep.
and similar thing. And I think again that was the first time I'd done it, so it always takes longer the first time, and it's been a while, so you could sort of half argue that it's kind of like the first time again, but it's a lot of work.
Yep.
So I don't know if it's necessarily worth my time and effort to make a lot of these, but I really do enjoy doing it every now and again. So yeah, I think it's not going to be one of the cheaper things on the table, but I think I agree with you. It'll be in that, $60 to $80 range, somewhere in there.
So will yours be for sale though? Or does it
Mine will
have
be
to go
for
to your
sale.
mom's? Yeah. Ooh.
No, mine will be for sale.
And if you sell it, you're going to make your mom a new one?
No, Mom, still displaying the old ugly one. You know?
If she's listening to this, you should totally get them. Be like, oh, honey, but I really wanted you to make me a new one.
Well, if she says that to me, I will make it. I can make it. If this one sells, right? That's
Awesome.
always because it's interesting. Some of these things, like, they'll be on the table for several markets, and then all of a sudden they disappear, right?
Yep.
So
Yep.
they can hang around for a while, but
Which is always fun too, because when those things find the right home, like, because they are art pieces, they are one of a kind type of things, and when somebody's like, nope, that is coming home with me, and you're like, that's awesome. Like, you sold your feather display two
yeah.
markets ago, and I just sold mine at the last market, and like, again, it's rewarding to see it go home to a good home, and people enjoy it, so that's awesome.
And it's really nice. I like it, because I get a bit not depressed, but you're like, oh, no one likes it, no one likes it, no one likes it. Oh, someone actually likes it. And you get that
Yeah.
little, okay, yeah, look, my stuff isn't terrible. Yay.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, gear change. You ready for your eggle?
Oh,
We're going
hard
to
gear
eggle it
change.
up.
Okay, hang on. Yeah, go for it. Go
Gear
for it.
change, hard left. We've been talking about our work too long. So this week's esoteric eggle, again, if you've never listened to this before and you're like, what is an esoteric eggle? We pick something that is random, has nothing to do with our work, that has to do with us, and you get to learn a random fact about us. Because we actually forgot to do our nuggets. Did you know that?
Oh, we
At the
did forget a
beginning.
nugget.
It's okay. We can do N
We'll
nuggets
work
this
that
time.
in. Okay.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
work it in. But so
I got it.
esoteric eggle, because we are entering the Christmas decorating time of year, what is your favorite decorating activity or Christmas prep activity around this time of year?
Mm-hmm.
And what song / Christmas album do you listen to while doing it?
I think we're both in a bit of the same boat where we don't really, the Christmas spirit doesn't grab us. But I do enjoy. I have everybody's seen the plywood Grinch that's pulling the lights off of the house.
Yes.
And I've always enjoyed that. So over COVID, I actually put little creatures up on my fence. I live in a townhouse, a 2-story townhouse. I can't get lights on top of my house, but I put them on the top of my fence. So during COVID, I put all these little creatures out on the fence and everything like that. And of course, when it came to Christmas, I had to do something. So I actually cut out a Grinch who's like doing the Grinchy sneaky sneak, and he's coiling up the lights on his arm and pulling them off of the fence. So only half of my fence gets lights now. The other half are with the Grinch. And I most recently added Max, his dog, who's kind of holding up part of the lights. And I always enjoy coming home and seeing the Grinch high atop my fence and pulling my lights down. That makes me giggle.
Nice. I like it. Very apropos with the rest of the Grinch stuff that we've done.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And what is the music you listen to while setting up or
Music
creating that?
music I'd have to listen to would have to be going back to an oldie, some Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton. Uh,
Oh, not where I thought you were
uh,
going.
yeah, and probably I don't know. Just the one that comes to my mind is like "I'll Be Home with Bells On." There's just there's something about that whole
Ah,
album, but the two of them, yeah,
okay, yeah. See, I was thinking you were going with "You're a Mean One,
yeah,
Mr. Grinch."
that is a good one. It's a good one.
I figured that would work with it. All right. Well, there you go. For me, my wife and I started a tradition. I don't know, 5 years ago or so. We get a little Christmas stuffy. And because
Mm.
you have all sort of the little winterized animals or elves or gnomes or stuff like that. Well, we started making a little Christmas display, and it's not the setting up. I don't really care about the setting up. But my wife is the one who really does all the decorating or spearheads. I won't say all the decorating, but she spearheads the decorating for Christmas. I do this. I'm the spearhead for Halloween. But going out and buying a new one, and normally she and I go out together and we find one, and it's been great. We've been doing it for 5 years or so. We get one or two a year. But one of the challenges that we've found now is we have most of the animals now, right? Like, so we have a moose and we have a fox and you know,
Have a
we have a
penguin and
gnome,
a
and
yep,
we don't want to
yep.
get, like, it's not as exciting to get double. So it's harder work. And so this year, my wife actually wasn't with me. I actually got one really early, which I never get Christmas decorations early. But I saw a squirrel holding an acorn, and we didn't have a squirrel yet, so I'm like, okay, I got to get that. But I was at Costco, shopping at. I have a love-hate relationship with Costco, and I was walking down the aisle, and there was this big stuffed Yeti, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome! I got to get a Yeti, and it'll be a great surprise. My wife will love it. All right, and then I looked up at the price because you always got to check the price at Costco. I'm like, it's like $40. I'm like, okay, yeah, for like this stuffy was about the size of my chest. I'm like, okay, that's a fair $40. And then I looked over at actually what the $40 was. It was a family of 3 Yetis, all massive. So I ended up with these 3 massive, daddy, mummy, and kid Yeti that we now have in our house, which are awesome. So that's my Christmas prep. But when we are decorating, Pentatonic's Christmas album. I
Oh,
don't know. Have you listened to the Pentatonics?
I have not. No, not the Christmas album.
Yeah. Okay. So you've heard some of their other
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So it's great. I love, like, if you've never listened to the Pentatonics, they're an a cappella group. Fantastic. And every year that's what's got to go on for our decorating.
Cool.
Go Pentatonics.
Yeah. You gonna pick a song and you'll add it to our playlist?
I will pick a good Pentatonics Christmas song, and we'll throw that up with your Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers. She'll be home with bells on.
That'll be the second Dolly song on the playlist.
Ooh, look at us go.
Yep.
Dolly's good, man. There was a documentary on some of her stuff and like on her life and what she's done. Like, wow, the amount of stuff she's put out, and amazing stuff she's put out.
Yep. So back to our shop a little bit. We sometimes have woes and wonders of our shops and how to deal with our small spaces and things that we don't have. Did you have something that would be cool, or do you want me to? I'll go first. I'll go first because I'm kind of excited. I found so if anybody's familiar with trying to remove rust or scale from steel, which is
because everybody knows how to do that.
well, okay, but if you have a rusty tool, right? There's a product out there called Evaporust that everybody that it works amazing and it's great stuff.
I think most people just use the rusty tools.
Okay, but like anyway, beside the point. As a blacksmith, rust is only a state of mind. That's what I keep telling people because your hammers, your anvil, your tongs can all be rusty and they're still useful tools. It's the more you use them, the better they look. Anyway, beside the point, but there are things that like adjustable wrenches that you need the rust off of the threads, and you can just throw it in Evaporust. It's non-toxic, it's non-corrosive, and it works. But it's expensive as anybody's business. It's about $40 for a liter of it, and it doesn't last forever because the active ingredient it does attach itself to the rust, and then it falls out of it. So someone sent me,
hey everybody, here's chemistry lesson at Brothers in Smithing.
Yeah. So and they don't advertise what it is actually made out of, right? People have an idea of what Evaporust is, but it's not. It's a trade secret.
It's a patented trade secret. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sense.
And it works well, but it's expensive and it doesn't last forever. So now I've taken to, I'll actually use vinegar on stuff that I don't care about because it is a little bit corrosive, but to get the really grimy rust off, and vinegar's easy and it's non-toxic and whatever. So it's,
and cheap.
And cheap and available. So I use vinegar a lot, but it does smell.
Like
but
vinegar.
Whatever.
Shockingly.
Like vinegar. Anyway, someone sent me a video. I think it's Beyond Ballistics made this cheap, it's ultimate handmade rust remover, better than Evaporust, Beyond Ballistics. And if you look that up on YouTube, this guy explains the whole process, and he restores guns, so metal parts and everything like that. And he uses citric acid and sodium carbonate, which is washing soda. So citric acid in a lot of cleaners, in a lot of foods, in a lot of like stuff, and sodium carbonate, not bicarbonate, not baking soda.
Not baking soda, but washing soda.
Washing soda. The stuff is on his thing, and you mix them together in water, and it bubbles and fizzes like it should. And then a little bit of dish soap, and it removes rust. Like,
Well then.
as good as Evaporust. Now, the one thing I will give it is Evaporust seems to have a protective coating that goes on it afterwards, that when you
Yeah.
pull it out, it doesn't rust again. Whereas, especially if you pull it out of something like vinegar, it's going to rust again unless
Yeah.
you coat it immediately. I would say the same for this stuff, but it's non-corrosive. It doesn't corrode the metal, and it's non-toxic because this is just washing soda, dish soap, and citric acid. Super cheap, readily available, and works. I made some. I've just been throwing stuff in there just for funsies, and I've yet to. Well, no, I'm like, oh, I wonder what
What are
this
you
piece
gonna
of.
do on a Friday night? Oh, I know. I'm gonna throw my rusty tools in a bucket of this stuff.
I kid you not.
And I'm gonna wear
my
my safety goggles while I do it because that's what I do.
my kid was homesick one of the days this week, and I was like, well, what are we gonna do that's non-physical because he's sick, but he's home and we can't just watch TV all day. I was like, I'm gonna
We're
make
gonna
this.
de-rust some tools.
So we measured the stuff out. You have to use a scale and do the whole science with Andrew, and we threw. I was like, I don't know, pick. I literally have piles of rusted metal everywhere, and I'm like, pick something that'll fit in a bucket. So we just were throwing stuff in, and it's.
I baked a cake with my daughter, and you made rust remover with yours. That's awesome. I love it.
So there is my wonder that I'm pretty stoked about. I'm still in the testing phases and everything like that, but the stuff works. It's non-smelly and super cheap.
That's fantastic. No, it sounds good. As much as I'm laughing at you, that's a great.
You're gonna go watch the video and make some too.
Well, no, I'm gonna come to your place so we can play and make some. Do science with Andrew.
Yeah, there you go.
I want to do science with Andrew. So, mine because you were up visiting. I got a new toy.
Oh yes.
And you can't see it, and I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but I got something that I made with my new toy. My new toy is, yep. You got something that you made with my new toy too, and we will talk about that in a future podcast. But my new toy is a smelter, a metal smelter, or a smelting furnace. And so I can now take all my copper scraps and melt them back down, and then repurpose them into other things to make, which is awesome. Scary a little bit because I've never done any smelting. And of course, if you watch any videos, they talk about, well, you got to be careful if the molten metal hits anything wet, it explodes on you and pops. I'm like, oh, this sounds really safe. Let's do this. So, and of course, the other thing that that you read and you're watching that is like the hardest non-ferrous metal to work with is copper. I'm like, great. That's kind of what I got. Everybody tells you should start with aluminum or brass. I'm like, no. So that is my wonder. We did get to play with it. We made some good stuff. It's actually going to end up in a challenge coming up in the new year. So we won't talk about it too much, but that is my wonder. Yeah.
Awesome.
I got a smelting furnace.
Which I'm sure will come up a couple different times too with the challenge.
I'm sure it was. Well, so. It will. And it was paid for with money that I made through the markets, which is always nice.
Yes.
That's what we do with the money we make at the markets is buy more toys. Well, shall we round this off with our upcoming challenge? So next month?
I think so, yeah.
So December's coming up, and we for whatever reason, there's no real good reason why we need to seasonally theme our challenges, but we do. So we came up with the idea to make a sleigh for December because it was kind of Christmassy. And then we decided okay, well, is it an ornament? Is it a shelf decoration? But we decided on a candy dish.
Yeah.
So we got to make a sleigh-shaped candy dish. So it's got to be a bit 3D. It's got to hold some candy, more than one piece.
I suppose that would be.
Yeah, you just make Max from The Grinch and just put one piece of candy on the one horn. He's pulling the sleigh, so
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
be like
yeah,
a
yeah.
two-dimensional and voila.
Yep.
But yeah, so yeah, so that's the upcoming one. We're making a sleigh. Got to be a candy dish. I got an idea. I've come up with. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be a couple different colors of metal, and yeah, I'm actually for the longest time I wasn't super excited about it. But I'm like, yeah, it's a sleigh. Kind of boring to make as a like decorative piece, but as a candy dish, and I came up with that idea, and I think it'll work out fairly well. So
See, I'm still at that, like, is it just a like metal box with like scrolly, you know, sleigh runners underneath it? And that's where I'm still trying to come up with how I make the box part of it, the candy dish part of it, cool. I know
yeah,
I can make scrolly bits underneath, and I know I can do that. And but what does the box part look like to make it cool? And that's I think what I'm stuck on right now is I'm not sure how to make that cool.
and that was part of like because you can make a sleigh. It's kind of boring looking. Like I've seen them around. At least personally, I think they're kind of boring looking.
Yep.
But a couple weeks ago, the one market I was doing without you up in Midland, the Midland Victorian market to support the OSPCA, I had to drive up to Midland. That's where I grew up, my hometown, and it's about a 2.5 hour drive from here. So and my family wasn't coming, so it was just me, 2.5 hours in the car by myself going to market. So I was thinking, coppersmithing, tinsmithing, and that's where I'm like, what can I do with, like, what kind of sleighs have I seen? What kind of tools do I got? And an idea kind of started to trickle and then popped. I'm like, okay, I can do that. This I think is gonna look good. So
Nice.
yeah.
The only idea that I've had that I kind of like is you just said Max, and I was like, ooh, the Grinch's sleigh.
Yeah, you got to
like
make it.
like like a really Grinchy sleigh, like the like thrown together like toothpick
Yeah,
sleigh, and then actually have Max in front pulling it. I think that would be hilarious.
it would be good. There you
I
go.
don't know. That's my only idea, so we'll see.
So
But
your
I
idea
think
is
the
from
reason,
me, right? Yeah, there you go.
yes,
See, I'm giving you all the good
you can have
ideas.
the assist. That's fine. Um, I think the only reason that we do Christmas themed ones is because the markets that we do are Christmas generally into the Christmas season, and that's when we so having it on the table, for next season
Yeah, I
will
was gonna
be
say
as
that's the
sellable.
only thing is like this won't be on the table for this season. Like the Christmas Village has made sense because it's going to be on the table for a market. So yeah, yes, I just have to keep it on my shelf for
A year.
12
Yep.
months, 11
Yep.
months.
Hey, I sold my Grinch hand right like that last year in December.
You didn't I sell your Grinch hand?
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I had someone contact me and want your Grinch thing, not my Grinch thing, your Grinch thing.
Yep. Yep. That's how
Yeah,
awesome
no,
it is.
it can happen. It can work out in the best. So
And I will have 2 Grinch hands at the upcoming market. If you get there early enough, they'll be for sale. So,
there you go. If you get there early enough, so because they're gonna sell, they're gonna disappear right off the table like that.
and you can vote for my thing in person. Look for our stuff on Instagram, so you can vote for the best house miniature, which of course would be mine. So,
Mine. No, that's mine.
mine. It's mine.
It's always the villain
Uh,
who's gonna win, dude. Always
uh,
me.
only for the pity votes. Only for the pity votes.
I'll
We'll have
take
to see
them.
how
I
that one
yeah.
turns out because I think they're both pretty evenly matched. So,
I think they are. I think mine's just gonna edge you out. To be honest,
ooh,
I'm gonna
I'm
win
in
by
for a close
by.
competition.
We
Yep.
are. It's always fun when it's close. But yeah, so do check us out. The stories will be up when this is posted, so you can check our stories. It is November 30th, and you can see us at the market down in Guelph, Ontario.
Awesome. Well, we'll have to see how that goes. Have a good one till I win.
Cheers.
See ya.